I would give anything, almost anything, to hear my mother's voice today. You know, I think about her and I try to keep alive that voice of my mother that loved me, nurtured me, helped me to feel safe. So when I think of what Colby is listening to, and we're going to find out here in a minute, some of y'all have already heard this woman's voice. I can't help but think about what he's dealing with the loss of his siblings, and hearing his own mother tell him whatever she's going to tell him, which I know damn well. She's got a forked tongue, y'all. She is a seductress. She is going to tell Colby something throughout this, whatever this is, and I'm going to go through it the first time. She does, y'all. She does have demon possession, in my opinion. And this has to be so crushing for Colby because, again, the way my mind thinks, I would give anything today to hear my mother's voice. I have saved a couple of voicemails of my mother's, and I've yet to play them because I just am not ready. And here he is making either she called him or he called her, and he's hearing his mother's voice, the one that gave birth to him, the one that at one time nurtured him, loved him. Hello, Dora Pinion. I saw you last night. Hello, Kathy, Trevor Levesque, Jen Marr, Michelle Flanagan, Jenny Benny, Ann Gibson, Stephanie Willow, Jennifer Suka, I think I said Trevor Levesque, Chris Arnett, NF Mom, Pam Keith, Jenny Benny, and Tina Reddington. So I think about the Hussy's trial, her conviction, and her sentencing. And I also think about how a lot of us had to view that trial. Justin Lum and Nate Eaton through their tweets. The audio came out later on that evening, but in terms of first reactions, y'all, we got it from Justin Lum and Nate Eaton, and I did the best I could on that. There was no sound in her trial until later on that evening. And when we were going through the tweets of Justin Lum and Nate Eaton, there was reaction. Lots of reaction. But then at her sentencing, we finally got to hear the Hussy speak more than yes or no or something at a pretrial hearing. She had a whole freaking mess load of lies. It was no allocution. It was absolutely lies, lies, lies. Do you think she knows that Colby is recording her in this, what we're about to go through here? Do you think that her narcissistic, demon-possessed words deserve to be heard? Well, I think there's plenty on here that's already heard her voice speaking with Colby in the jail phone calls. And KJ, absolutely am not. I will not hear her voice as I go through this today. I have the speakers, y'all. I have the speakers. I can do it if I want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to read the closed captions. I'm not going to listen to that damn hooker talk. I'm not. I'm sorry. But I am going to go word by word, and I'm going to pick this woman apart. I think about that, y'all. I think about how I would love to hear my mother's voice. And Colby, for whatever reason he's doing this, whether it's his way of getting some kind of resolution, whether it's therapy for him, God bless him. I hurt for him. I've read comments after comments after comments about how hurt he was during all of this. Eric Jasper said in the comments about this particular thing we're going to go through. Y'all, we're going to go through it. And it's going to take longer than I'm used to doing, but I'm going to do it. She was there when Tylee and JJ's lives were taken, says Eric Jasper. I'm still flabbergasted, mainly because I always wanted to believe those precious kids weren't looking at their mother when their light was snatched from them. I can no longer believe and I think poor Colby knew then for a fact, yes, the hussy was there. Ian Austin said, I had to stop listening. It was unbearable. I made it to when she blamed Tylee, etc., and that was it for me. I turned it off. Virginia Lopez says, KJ, it will make you sick when you hear what she said. Not feeling sorry for what she done. I think she knows what she did, and she's using Jesus to cover up for her. Wait when she's on the other side of her death and meet Jesus. There is a hell for her. She blames everyone but herself. Lori will not hurt Tylee anymore. Rest in peace, Tylee. Ann Gibson says, KJ, please be prepared for your emotions to be all over the place. It's heartbreaking for Colby, and I have nothing but admiration and respect for him. He truly is a man of faith. I feel he needs a lot of support and love. Kim Nick says, have a great day. I'm glad you're waiting to get home to watch it. Watching Colby's reaction, especially at the end, is heartbreaking. I don't know how he can endure life with this horrific case. And Vivian Lundgren says, my heart breaks for Colby. I don't know if I could have done what he did. I would have stayed away from that toxic situation. And I'm sure when he said he forgave his mom, I know he did it for her own well-being. Since justice was handed out, I understand this. Never to forgive is a cancer. And when you let it go and give it to Jesus, it's better that way. And Vivian says she's looking forward to the stream. Now, folks, there are many channels on YouTube that have the audio of this, but KJ's going to do things differently. Because again, a mother's voice should be a voice of love and nurturing. And poor Colby's having to hear that woman, knowing that she's a freaking serial killer. Now, I don't know how this is going to go, just as I didn't know how it was going to go with the tweets. I'm going to have to stop it at some of it. I'm not versed in how to do all this, but I'm going to try. Because I want justice through understanding, and whatever that means to you is your own business. But KJ's going to do it this way today. Before we go into it, y'all, prior to sentencing, Judge Steve Boyce said a mental health evaluation showed that Lori suffered from hyperreligiosity, an unspecified personality disorder with histrionic and narcissistic features. In summary, delusional disorder. The disorder features bizarre content and hyperreligiosity, and personality disorder. This disorder has narcissistic and histrionic features. We cannot forget that she's been diagnosed with all this. But as I look at you, y'all, there ain't no doubt. There ain't no doubt that this woman is demon-possessed. That is my opinion. Can hyper-religiosity create false memories? Is there a possibility that this damn hooker, she rewrote what she thought it was in her own freaking false memory crap so she can live with the fact she's a freaking serial killer? Yes. When you have hyper-religiosity, religious beliefs and delusions can contribute to false memories. And I'm not saying this is what it is. Y'all know where I stand. People with religious beliefs are more likely to falsely remember events, both positive and negative. Delusions can be so fixed that they can create or lead to false memories. For example, someone with hyper-religiosity might believe they're a prophet chosen by God. And I'll tell you, I've read some of the comments, and I promise you, when she's starting to talk about Jesus, it absolutely pisses me off. I am no perfect Christian. I have my faults. Y'all know it. But I'm going to say what I mean and mean what I say. Psychotic delusions. Delusions of grandeur. Y'all think Lori's got delusions of grandeur? I mean, she's being visited by Jesus all the time. Let me just be clear. I've never, ever felt like Jesus visited me. I pray to Jesus. I feel him in my life. But, you know, I guess people can believe whatever the hell they want. Well, this serial killer sure as heck believes anything and everything other than the fact that she's a damn murderer. Imagination. And this is all about false memories, y'all. Does Lori have an imagination? Well, she's too damn busy reading those damn books. What is it? Visions of Glory and all that stupid shit. Imagining an event can increase the likelihood of believing it actually happened. I mean, my God, y'all. She's telling us, hey, we're going to be like Nephi. Give me a break. All right, her age. You know, her age can contribute to these false memories. And I'm just going down the list of possibilities. Y'all know she's demon-possessed. You damn well know she's demon-possessed. As people age, their memory can decline, which can lead to more false memories. And affective content. Emotional content can increase the likelihood of false memories. The emotional aspect. Do you think this hooker has any emotional anything other than, oh, Colby, can we just be mother and son again so you can put some money on my canteen in freaking prison? Someone with hyper-religiosity can create false memories in that they represent a distinct recollection of something that did not actually happen. It is not about forgetting or mixing up details of things that they experienced. It is about remembering things that they never experienced in the first place. And y'all know good and damn well, she did not experience what y'all are telling me, because all I've got are the comments. I have not listened to this, and I'm not going to listen to that damn woman's voice. I'm not going to. So we're going to try. We're going to try, and I appreciate the Rays and others, but specifically the Rays, for allowing me to try it this way. Because words do matter. But her voice as a mother is long gone. She ain't no damn mother. She's a serial killer. And I feel my heart just goes out to Colby Ryan. I've got it right here. Look. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Says Colby. We're going to start out and we're going to do it. So first of all, he says, are you still there? Can you hear me? So I guess common sense, she was on the phone still when he pressed record on this. Had they talked before he decided to press record? Maybe get her a little calm before he could really start asking her these questions? We'll never know. I'm going to do it, y'all. Here we go. I do the best, I do the best with what we have. And I'm going to keep until I see something that I want to discuss. It says, the best, I do the best with what we have, right? You try what you can. Yeah. Are you cutting out? Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm trying to keep it going. Yeah. No, it's you. Sound good to me. I don't know if you can hear me very well. Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. But, you're all the questions, but how are you doing? Are you okay, says Lori. She's asking Colby, how's he doing? Is he okay? Well, I'll tell you what, you damn woman. Your son is destroyed because you killed his siblings. But Colby says, I'm better now. If I'm being honest with you, says Colby, it's taken a long process to work through all this stuff. It's been a lot of years. But I've definitely found my strength. So I think that's where I'm at right now. But well, I know you've got to be busy with the kids and everything so that your life moves fast when you have little kids. And can you imagine that, y'all? This woman is telling Colby about her grandkids. She's saying, your life must be going by fast, having little kids and everything like that. What about your damn kids, woman? What about your kids? Somebody's going to call in while I'm trying to get this done. So, I didn't want any of this for you, as you know. She's saying I didn't want any of this for you, as you know. What, Lori? What is it that you didn't want for him? The fact that his sister and brother are murdered? That his sister was chopped up? What? Oh, let's not forget. Lori's the narcissistic hooker. She's, you don't want any of this because I'm not there, basically, I bet. That's what she's saying. It's all about her. And then she says, you told me that Ty had come to you in a dream. So they've talked before this, y'all. This isn't Colby asking her. This is her. He's sitting here with his lips are not moving. So she says, you told me that Ty had come to you in a dream. So Colby has been talking to his mother. Let's see what that's all about. Right? And you never told me what she said or what her message was to you. This is what I've always wanted to ask you privately, right? Like me and you, like what did he say? I don't remember, if I'm being honest with you, says Colby. I don't really know if I believe in the visiting of ancestors anymore. I don't really like people who are in your family. I don't think that's something that I've ever seen biblically where you really get visitors from your family on behalf of Christ. Well, there you go. He needs to damn lay it down on the hooker. I've dreamed a lot of things, if that's what you're asking. I've dreamed a lot of things about you, and I've dreamed a lot of things about but I've never fully dreamed of what I can't remember what exactly you're referring to, if that's what you're asking me. Okay, yeah, but you called me, and so you knew something wasn't right. You were questioning me. Hold on a minute. You were questioning me, but this is before you knew things, and you had a dream with Ty. I'm not saying she actually visited you, but you had some kind of dream that upset you, and I wondered, because she had passed away, if she had actually visited you and told you something, because she visited and told me plenty of things, and the very first thing she told me was, I'm sorry, Mom, for being such a brat. Well, I'll tell you what. That damn demon, oh my gosh. Tylee was a brat. This is what Lori is saying she dreamed. That Tylee came to her, that she's being such a brat. I'll tell you, the only thing Tylee had done was try to be there for JJ. And Tylee loved her mom, but Tylee, and this is just my opinion, she knew they murdered Charles Vallow, and she knew that Tylee wasn't going to take hold of her bullshit, that she wasn't going to be able to be part of the cult. They gave her the name Hillary, for God's sake. That's the first thing that she told me, and it was so her, just like her. So I just wondered if she had said something to you that you recall, and that was such a long time ago. I just always have wondered, because I never asked you at the time. You know what your dream was. You just had told me that you had a dream and that she had come to you, so I wondered. And then Colby says, yeah, I don't really remember, to be honest with you. Why is Lori doing this? Lori's trying to remind Colby that Colby has talked to her about these things. It's clear, y'all. He's talked to her about these things in the past. I don't know how long it's been, but she wants to get him back into that damn fanaticism mindset. That's what she's trying to do. She's coaxing him. Remember, y'all, he's hearing his mother's voice, and he knows she's freaking gone. But when he hears her voice, even though he knows she's a serial killer, there's a part of him, that child inside of him, that remembers the love he had for his mother. So Colby does say, I don't really remember, to be honest with you. Okay, I just didn't know if that was something that, and I totally appreciate what you believe or don't believe or whatever you know, what I believe. So it's not a big secret. I mean, it's what you know from when you knew me, not what you know from what police have told you. Oh, of course. She doesn't want Colby to focus in on the evidence, what law enforcement has told him, or anything like that. She wants him to focus on the things that she used to freaking try to damn brainwash him with. That's where she wants him at. That's where she wants him. Oh, and she says, not from what police have told you or other people have told you, but what you actually know from me personally, which that's the only thing I wanted to ask you about. Because do you remember our drive to Reno, just me and you, right? Here she goes, y'all. She wants to remind Colby of the good days. Maybe even not only when she was not being what she is now, and she's trying to get him back in that mindset. And maybe this drive to Reno had something to do with something that maybe they talked about religiously that she felt like he still believed or whatever. You remember our drive to Reno, just me and you, right? And I remember you telling me some really out there stuff. Just told me that there's, oh, here we go. So she's trying to tell Colby that that drive to Reno, you told me some out there stuff and everything. She knows, y'all. She knows this is being recorded. And she wants everyone to know that Colby Ryan here was just in her, if the people are going to think she's crazy, then she wants everyone to know that Colby was crazy, at least at one time. And then he says, about you told me stuff, just told me there was multiple lives, and I told you that's not true, says Colby. And I really don't believe in that at all. I don't think anybody's ever lived multiple probations. I don't think anybody's ever come back besides Jesus himself. I don't think that's something that we do. That's reincarnation. That's not something that Jesus ever mentioned in the Bible, ever. There's nobody who will come back and live in the flesh and is born again and has a whole different life and experience. So I truly knew when you told me that, it didn't make any sense to me. It didn't sit right with my spirit. And I trusted you as my mom. I tried to share with what you thought and felt, but as years went by, I had to do my own research on things. And I remember thinking when you did that and said that, I remember thinking that's just not right in my spirit. And everybody's entitled to believe what they want. But I'm telling you for me personally that this is no way, shape, or form do I believe that anybody's ever lived a different life. I think once you're gone, you go to heaven or wherever the Lord puts you. And my true conviction to myself, and I don't believe in anything else. And then Lori says, well, I honor and respect that. And just like you said, I honor and respect what everyone else believes. They can believe whatever they want to believe, right? Like, oh, wait a minute. This woman never respected someone else's beliefs. If they didn't believe the way she believed, they were the evil people. They were the bad people. They were the fallen people. She was the elite person. But don't you think that's dangerous to believe anything says Colby and just kind of have your own basis of belief rather than something that's based in truth and what the Bible says? Okay, so I agree with you 100%. And there's purpose for what the Bible does, and there's a purpose for what it says, and it says all the right things. And most people who ever come to this earth only come one time, and that's why the Bible is for everyone. It's not this higher knowledge that people who need to know, it can know it, and people that don't need to know it, don't need to know it. There she goes, y'all. There's a higher knowledge, and Lori's got it. And there are too many freaking people out here that only live one life, and the Bible's just fine and dandy for that. But she's different. She's elite. She is, translated, whatever. That's why her ass is sitting in an Arizona damn jail cell, fixing to go on trial. It's not widespread. It comes directly from Jesus to me. It doesn't come from any other source. It comes from Jesus Christ to me. Well, I'll tell you what. Colby Run, right as I'm looking at him, is shaking his head. You can get everything you need to know about his body language on that. So she is getting directly from Jesus Christ. And there is no other source that she's getting it from. Folks, this woman is pathetic. This woman, Jesus Christ wants her to be in prison for the rest of her life. Jesus Christ wanted her to kill these children. Jesus Christ sent her down maybe for her, fifth or sixth multiple probation so that she could murder people and end up in prison. Give me a break. And so let's go back to what you said. I feel like, honestly, that's a lot to talk about. I guess this is Colby. A lot to talk about here. Can you go over, you said Ty's been visiting you. So there's a lot of things I want to go through. But you said Ty visited you and spoke to you. And JJ, I heard this in your statement that you made. I wanted to know, what you mean by that. And, one of the reasons I wanted to talk, I think when we talked about legion, let's go back to what we were talking about. So in the Bible, there's that moment, I think it's in John 5, where Jesus cast out the demons. And he gets rid of them, and the man is back to normal. You said that there was a reference to the chosen, and I wanted to hear what you said because they cut out. So what do you believe in when it comes to the zombie idea? Because that's where you were at. That's what you were telling me. Yes, I would love to address this because I've never said the word. My personal, this has gone out of control. Whoever made up this whole zombie thing and escalated what my basic belief was, okay, I, Lori, have gone through my whole entire discovery, and there's not one thing. Do you know if you do a search and you find, the word zombie in a search for in my discovery, do you know the only thing that comes up is when JJ was ordering those little zombie babies from Minecraft? That's the only thing that comes up in all of my 19 years of my iCloud. I was not saying that is not something I said. It's not something that's, so yes, can evil spirits possess humans like it did in John 5? Yes, I believe that. Do I believe I have the power to cast him out? Oh yeah, I do. The same way he cast him out in episode 5 of season 2 of The Chosen. Okay, so yeah, those are my hold on a minute. Those are, so she's saying that she does not. I got a commercial here, y'all. She's saying she's never used the word zombie, but that's just not true. She used it before. She absolutely called Tylee a zombie when Tylee was, 12 or 13 years old? I mean, all the way back there. And, I don't know how much weight to give Melanie give, but the bottom line is they were all using that shit. Did she use the word zombie in her text messages to Chad, or was it ever found in her iCloud? No. But the bottom line is she didn't have to use that word zombie. She used another term that meant the same damn thing. So Colby's telling her the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. Yeah, we can go through it if so. You were saying that you never said the word zombie. That was never used by you ever. Okay. So, I have a lot to ask you, honestly. But I wanted to give you the floor to really say your piece. And since we're cutting out so much, maybe it's just a good time. You told me one day you'd want to say it in our last phone call. You said that you wanted to tell me what has happened. So I'm going to just give you the floor real quick. If you want to say your piece, and maybe I'll just follow up questions after that. But I want you to go ahead, and I think you know what I'm referring to is what really happened then with my brother and my sister and this whole thing. And I know that we could talk about my dad, but I'm assuming that's because of your case. Is a little not for right now. We'll always follow up on that at some point because I do have a lot of questions about it all. But I'm going to try to just keep it strictly strict to my brother and sister. So I just want to give you the floor right real quick. And I think we'll just kind of deal there. Well, it's obviously different than what everyone else thinks. And I don't know if you knew the truth of what really actually happened, if you would want to be in a public forum. Talk. You personally, I know that you are the only person on this planet to me who loved Tylee and JJ as much as I do. The only person. So in all of my 4 years or 5 years of going through this, because it's been 5 years, I've asked every one of my attorneys, how can you help me to talk to Colby in a way that I can let him know the truth of what happened? Because he's the only person on this planet, not my mom, not my sister, not anybody else. Colby's the only person on this planet who loved JJ and Tylee like I did. He was the only person that truly cared. And in my opinion, he is the only person who deserves to know what really happened. Oh, yeah, she is trying to lay it on thick. Well, how about this? Try this on for size, y'all. There were people that actually loved JJ and Tylee. The Woodcocks, Cresha, Larry, Kay, all these family members. and people from around the world that love JJ and Tylee, but most specifically the victim's family members. So she can sit here all day long and lay it on thick with her son. She's trying to do everything she can with that forked tongue of hers to get him right back in it. And make no mistake, y'all, do you think this is the last jail phone call that we're going to hear on YouTube? This will be the only damn call I'll be covering, because for whatever reason, Colby's doing this, it will continue, and whatever he needs to do to heal, whatever he needs to do to get some understanding, whatever, more power to him. I hope he does whatever he needs to do. But OKJ's only going to cover this one time, because this damn woman don't deserve any freaking more of my attention. She should have been gone when they sent her ass off to prison. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So you can help me find a way where I can talk Colby privately and tell him, because this is a horrible situation and I want to be able to talk to you, but I don't know that after, what actually happened, if you would want that to be public. Okay, Colby says, basically, you said no one was murdered. That was your biggest statement. You said no one, single person was murdered, that everybody you said there was suicides and deaths, accidental deaths, and you said that there was drug overdoses, that no one was murdered. So that's what I'm going to ask you. Then if you're willing to say it in your statement, then I'm asking you to say it to me. If you don't want to go into detail, that's your decision, but that's what I'm asking you today. Well, what can I tell? I can tell you is that I wrote out what happened with those 38 pages, and that's what I was telling my attorneys. I need this to get to Colby. I don't care who else has to go through it, but I just think it's fair to Colby to not have this information, since he is the only person I feel like was as close to cared about JJ and Tylee like I did. Now, you are the only person, Colby, in the entire world that, like I said, I want to talk to Colby and tell him, because he deserves to know. Don't care what anybody else knows, and frankly, don't care what anybody else thinks. It's not their children. They're my children, and your brother and sister, and we're the only family, and we're the ones doing everything for them. And when you took care of JJ and Tylee, when Tylee was in the hospital that time, when we moved to Hawaii, and you sat with him as 2-year-old, but his medication, giving him all these things, and he would just run like 100 miles an hour. Y'all, she's taking him down memory lane. She is stroking Colby. She knows how to get to him. She knows how to get to him, y'all. And she's sitting here saying that you and I, Colby, are the only ones that really love JJ and Tylee. She is a freaking demon-possessed slut, a hooker, to do that. We all know that Colby loved JJ and Tylee a lot, but there were other family members. Somebody tell me that Lori loves her children after murdering them, going off to Hawaii and bouncing up and down on the beach with that damn asshole. Give me a break. And by the way, the question has to be asked, because I know it's coming. She's going to give this bullshit explanation. Why didn't she call 911? If Tylee really did that, which she didn't, because the evidence, Tylee was dead before JJ was. I mean, the bottom line is even if you wanted to believe, even if you wanted to explore whether that was true, why didn't she call 911? Why did they end up chopped up, Tylee chopped up, burned in Chad Daybell's backyard? And why in the hell was JJ done the way he was? I remember because when we picked us up at the airport, picked us up, and we're so mad at me. You were mad at me when you picked me up. You're like, what are you doing? And you're too old to be your grandma age, and you're too old to have this baby. And what are you doing? And he's going to have so many problems. And you were really mad. Well, there she goes, y'all. She's trying to paint Colby as this terrible. She won on one hand, on one side of her forked tongue. You loved him more than anyone in the entire world. And then on the other forked tongue, she said, remember when you met me at the airport when I had JJ's baby? Why are you doing this, Mom? He's going to have so many problems. You're too old to have a baby. Blah, 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 blah. She wants to make sure because she knows it's going to get out. And she believes that telling Colby this right here will at least make Colby think maybe I shouldn't release this to the public, because she is bringing out this stuff about how we had these talks in Reno, and this stuff right here about JJ having so many problems, and that you were so mad, Colby. She's hoping that she can continue to talk to Colby, get to a place where he's back in her good graces, or they're back together with him, so he can start putting money on her freaking canteen in the freaking prison. Because she ain't got no other agenda. She ain't got no other agenda. You were really mad, and JJ came with his own love, and you fell in love with JJ. In Colby, what you had to take care of him during the time, I think that bonded you the most to him when you took care of him. And Tylee and I was in the hospital, and Charles was in Hawaii trying to set up the house, and we were trying to move out of that huge 5,000-foot house. You were throwing everything in the dumpster because we couldn't move it. We didn't have time because we didn't expect Tylee to be with this thing I'm going too fast. Hold on, let me back up, y'all. Sorry, I told you this is new to me. And you're too old to be a grandma, and you're too old to have this baby, and what are you doing? And he's going to have so many problems, and we're really mad. And JJ came with his own love, and you fell in love with JJ. You, Colby, did, and when you had to take care of him during the time, I think, that bonded you the most to him, when you took care of him, and Ty and I were in the hospital, and Charles was in Hawaii, trying to set up the house, and we were trying to move out of that, and she goes into this 5,000 square foot home. How big's her damn jail cell now, huh? And having to throw things away because they didn't have room for it and all that. What's in her jail cell now? A bottle of freaking lotion to keep that thing from drying out? What the hell she think? That huge 5,000 foot house, and we just throwing things into the dumpster because we couldn't move it. We didn't have time because we didn't expect Tylee to be, and the thing here, it's her diagnosis. I think her pancreatitis is what that is. It's not spelling out like that. In the hospital, and I was there with her screaming, and so you are the only person that deserves to know the truth. Also, I can't tell the story of what happened to Ty and JJ without telling Ty's life. And I don't necessarily want to tell that to the public. But you know, you are the only person who lived it with me and her. And you lived it with me. You went with me and her to therapy every week. You were the one. You were the ones that she was crying and screaming and she's saying this to kind of justify. She wants, in her own mind, she's like, because Tylee had these problems and everything with pancreatitis, that really it was a mercy killing, basically. It's really what it comes down to. She was crying and screaming and throwing things in walls because they were forcing her to go to saw all her moods. You knew how she was depressed and anxiety attacks. And Kelsey were even coming over to mentor her during that time, you know, because you were there, and you were there with JJ. You were there with Ty. And, you know, and I didn't want to write it out like, I didn't want to just say, oh, this is what happened. I wanted to talk to you and answer your questions so I could tell you everything that actually happened. And if you have a question of something, well, the police said this then, and I have an answer for. That's not what they weren't there, and they don't know. So I wanted to talk to you so I could hear your questions and answer your questions, because you are the only person besides me on this whole earth who really love both of them the way that I did. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, Colby really did love JJ and Tylee. But when she talks about the way I did, Colby did not, because Colby didn't murder those children. The damn hooker murdered them, along with that damn asshole Chad Daybell. And so you heard what happened. If you heard that, what I wrote, they wouldn't give me the detail really. So that's why I'm asking, because that's what I would be happy to tell you personally and privately, because I don't know if you want those details out in the public. And then Colby says, well, you pretty much said it in the trial. So I guess I'm wondering why you said those things if you weren't willing to just share. If that's the truth that you say it is. Well, it is the truth, and it's exactly what happened. But do you want me to say what I've seen personally? Sure. So it's going to be heavy. So I hope you're ready for this. They found my little brother in a bag, tied up, buried. And then they found remnants of my sister, remnants, not even a person anymore, remnants of her. Can you imagine why that is? Do you have any room to think that would happen? No. So, did you know Tylee's desire of wanting to be cremated? That was your version of cremating her? Oh my God, y'all. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's telling him that Tylee wanted to be cremated? Well, why not? Put her freaking ashes in an urn, or give her a burial site beside some unmarked grave behind Chad Daybell's house. Why? Why couldn't she let the family know that poor Tylee passed away after she called 911 to say Tylee killed JJ and committed suicide? Give me a break. This is crazy. But did you know that she had that desire? No, says Colby. Well, so you don't know because you weren't there. But when after Charles passed away, and Alex and I and Ty were at the table in there at the house in Chandler, and we were going over Charles's wishes, folks. What table? What table was in that house? When they found Charles Vallow in there dead after Alex and Lori murdered him, there wasn't a stitch of furniture in there. But, you know, she's got to make it look like the family meeting at the table. Give me a break. We were going over Charles's wishes, and I'll tell you what, Charles' wish was to be alive and raise his son JJ. That's what Charles's wish was. And she doesn't have a right to even say his name right now. And Charles had put all his stuff down saying he wanted to be cremated, and don't ever put me in a box or I'll come back and haunt you, because he was claustrophobic. He didn't like the idea of being in a box. I'm going to let that one by. And he said all these funny things on his letter to me. And I said to me and Alex at the time, Ty said, don't you put me in a box either. She's like, whenever I'm out of here, I want to be cremated. That was her big thing. Do you think Tylee, if Tylee did say that, do you think Tylee wanted to be murdered and then chopped up and burned? It's disgusting. That woman is demon possessed. So why didn't you cremate her if she wasn't murdered? Why was she, wasn't she okay? According to what you say, and you say you were there, I'm trying to give you the space without telling you what I think and I feel. I'm trying to ask you the question because that's not cremation. I have my brother and sister's ashes. That's cremation. Can you imagine? Can you imagine coming in on that? That's what she says, y'all. Can you imagine as a mother? She ain't no freaking mother, excuse me. Your father now. So imagine you come in and find two of your children deceased. So they didn't just die out of nowhere. I didn't say that. You come home or whatever, and both your kids are dead, and then what? You just never tell me what happened? Or you never tell anybody anything? I'm trying to understand you. You can't, because you can't imagine what it's like. You can't even imagine, how much I love those kids. You know how much I put into them. You know how much I've done everything to protect them. You know how much I've done everything to get Tylee every kind of help, fought every kind of court to keep her safe, fought in every kind of hospital so they wouldn't do a whole bunch of horrible stuff to her when she was sick all the time. You know what I did for them? I know. So you imagine walking in, finding them, y'all. So after everything that this woman, this demon-possessed, freak show woman has done for Tylee and JJ, this is how she ends it all for them. She murders them and does everything that her and Chad did. Walking in to find them, and they had been gone for hours. There was nothing I could do, even though you just can't imagine. You can't imagine that scenario because until you live it, you can't imagine that scenario. And when I came in and I knew Tylee had been upset, and I knew that she was upset with me. Yes, you damn right Tylee was upset with her mother. Her mother murdered Charles Vallow. Her mother took her away from everyone that she loved. And Tylee was upset about Lori believing all this stupid crap with that damn asshole. She was upset when she left Arizona and probably stayed that way just long enough, a week into Idaho before her mother didn't walk in on. The only thing her mother walked in on was Alex and possibly Chad, and maybe there were other people there, who knows. And she walks in and she sees these things, because make no mistake, y'all, that blue blanket wasn't placed on JJ by Alex Cox, and it sure as hell wasn't damn put on JJ from Chad Daybell. Lori Hussy Daybell came in that room as they were binding him up, and after they suffocated him and he was dead, she laid that blue blanket on him. That is my opinion. She'd been upset with me that weekend because she wouldn't stay at the house because Melody Gibb was staying there, and she hates Melody Gibb, as you know. Everyone knows that, and she couldn't stand her smell because she had the essential oils and truly got sick. The essential oils in 6th grade, because her teacher made her drink the essential oils in 6th grade, if you remember all that. So she didn't want to stay there. So I asked her to babysit JJ, put him to bed that night which is what she always had done. And y'all, not that I believe a damn word about Melanie Gibb or David Warwick. Tylee was not there when they visited. So, what was it, Melanie Gibb Thursday till that Sunday? Tylee was not there. There is no evidence that Tylee was there. You even got the care.com woman. You've got the bottom line is now Lori is shifting this off on Tylee being angry only because of Melanie Gibb. No, Tylee was mad at her mother for being a freaking damn demon-possessed slut. Which is what she always had done to help JJ. She was going to bed. I was going to do my podcast to a stupid Melanie and David, right? So JJ wouldn't interrupt it. And then I was picking him up in the morning to get him ready and take him to school. And when I came in on that scene and they were gone, I thought, Tylee did it to get back at me. I thought it was all my fault. I thought she was mad at me. And that's what happened. And the reason why she visited me and why JJ visited me and came to me right after that is because to tell me that it wasn't my fault, because I was blaming myself 100%. Why didn't I get Tylee more help? Why did I let her get off of her meds? Why did I not do something different? Why didn't she just leave Tylee and JJ in Arizona and go off to Idaho so that stupid ass man could crawl between her legs with his little itty bitty gherkin? Why didn't she leave Tylee and JJ in Arizona so that they could live? And she could go on to pretend she's some stupid ass lowercase g. And she asks the question, why did I let Melanie Gibb stay here? Why do I have any of these things that would lead to this? How could it possibly have happened? Why, and how? Why and how? I mean, you can't even imagine what it's like. No one on earth can imagine what it's like. You're telling me that Tylee took JJ's life and then took her own life on accident and took her own life then after? So who chopped her up and who duct taped JJ and put him in the ground? I'm asking. You were saying what? So you told me, sorry, you're just cutting out. I just can't hear what your question is. Yeah, right. She knows what the question is. So you're telling me, he repeats himself. So you're telling me Tylee took JJ's life, then took her own life, and then someone cremated her by dismembering her and burning her and throwing her in a pet cemetery, and then somebody bound JJ, put him in a trash bag, and threw him in the backyard. No, but that was it. That was the end of it. What I'm saying is I wasn't aware what happened to them after I left that scene. Folks, this woman tries to sit on here and tell Colby nobody loves those children more than you or me. And for a mother to sit there and say she walked in on a scene of her dead children, which is a crock of shit, but let's just, for sake of argument, a mother doesn't know what's going to happen to their bodies after that she walks in on that scene. That is so freaking pathetic. It's stupid. whether it's a false memory, whether it's a demon inside of her squirming around trying to come up with some damn answer because its ass is in the corner and Colby is going in for that kill. He is slamming his own damn freaky ass mother's ass to the wall with the questions that he has. I left that scene. Okay, so you gave it to someone else? You gave the responsibility to someone else, is what you're saying? Correct? Why can't she tell us? Is she gonna, what? Is she gonna tell us? Is it Alex? Is it Chad? Is it these people that walked around Chad's property, along with Julie Rowe and them? Who did it? Okay, and then I just ran out. So you're saying someone else took care of the situation. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't hear that. It's breaking up. I'm saying that you're saying to me that someone else took care of it. That's it. I don't have to go into more detail. There's somebody else that took care of these things. So you, correct. Okay. I'm telling you that their spirits were gone from their bodies at that time. They were gone. They were already in heaven. They were already gone. Okay. Correct. Okay, so you're saying that they were gone. And why, if that's the case, then why wouldn't you just tell us what was the secrecy? Why didn't anybody know? There's a lot of reasons, Colby, and I've gone over that a million times, and I can tell you from the beginning, my thoughts then and my thoughts now obviously are different. You damn right. You've had time to sit in your damn jail cell and come up with this bullshit. There would be about it, to kind of work through it myself. But at the time, I didn't want anyone to know what Tylee had done to JJ, and I wanted to continue to protect Tylee as her mother. No, once she murdered Tylee and JJ, she could continue being the slut and the freaking concubine of Chad asshole Daybell. That's what she could continue to do. Who has always been trying to protect her whole life. Like, this is my scenario, Colby. What if Tylee holding JJ down for too long, trying to get him to not scream and be loud in the apartment? Folks, we know good and damn well, I guarantee you, JJ's extended family, the Woodcocks, Cresha K, and others, even in the Cox family, would have known that Tylee wouldn't have had to do any of that shit because she knew JJ, and JJ wouldn't have done those things around Tylee. Tylee would have known what to do to get him calmed down. So she's a liar. She's a damn evil ass liar. Get him to not scream and be loud in the apartment when she was always upset about, we weren't in a big house anymore. We were in these tiny little apartments, and he was loud, and if she held him down too long and realized afterwards what she had done, what if she had come running to me and told me what she had done, right? That it was an accident. Do you not think that I would have told police that I did it to save Tylee? She never talked to police. She never told the police anything. And besides that, The bottom line is that Lori is only putting all the blame on Tylee, when in all actuality, it's very well possible that some of this is these demons, y'all. These demons, they put a little truth into things along with the lies. They have to do that in order for the demon to be able to do what they're doing. The bottom line is I guarantee you, it was either Alex, Lori, Chad, or all three of them, or a combination of two of them at least, that was trying to get JJ to stop screaming. That's what it was. And I guarantee you, she was watching him scream. And I hate to even say it, but I've got to now that she's saying what she is. That's what they did. He started to struggle, and that's when they did what they did. And now she's creating... I mean, she could be in her mind right now saying, I'm lying to my son through all of this and everything, and as evil as she is, I wouldn't put it past her. Or she could be having these false memories because she don't want to face the fact that she's a serial killer. Or, most importantly, and I believe it, the demon will never, ever leave this damn woman. Because you know that I would save Tylee. I would have done anything to protect Tylee. And in my mind at the time, and some people might think it's not rational, but I wasn't rational at the time, because you can't imagine what it's like to find your children that way. You can't imagine. So no, I was not being rational. No, you were not being rational. You were not being rational at all, Lori. You were being evil and diabolical. That's what you were being. And all you cared about was this new life with Chad Daybell. We all saw your other things on the iCloud. You didn't have to say the word zombie on any of your text messages or anything. Is JJ is 0 yet? Or any of that? What does JJ, is he at 0 yet? Basically, hurry up, Chad. Tell me it's okay for us to go ahead and murder the kids. What does that have to do with saving or saving face for Tylee? She's putting this off on her own daughter because this woman is an evil hooker. That's what she did. However, I was still protecting Tylee in my mind, and I still am. This is why I only wanted to tell you privately. I didn't want to tell the world what went on. Well, you sure as hell did. She sure as hell did in her sentencing. She didn't go into detail that it was Tylee, but she was talking about overdoses, suicides, accidents. Give me a break. She knew that when the shit hit the fan, she had to start coming up with something. And that was before she even got arrested. She knew it was coming. Chad Daybell probably gave her these ideas. But if not, it wouldn't put it past me at all that she wants to blame her own damn daughter. Because make no mistake, if everybody knows for a fact that Melanie Gibb did not like Tylee, Chad Daybell said it when he said it. People didn't like Tylee, and she didn't like me. And the bottom line is that Chad and Lori are evil child serial killers. I don't want to tell the world that Tylee stopped taking her medication 2 weeks before. She was on anti-anxiety medications and antidepressant medications for panic attacks. And she was on birth control so her ovarian cyst wouldn't be bad. She was on all that stuff. And when we moved up to Idaho 2 weeks before, a week after we got there, she said she didn't want to take her meds anymore. And I said, honey, you can't go off your meds cold turkey. You can't just you have to wean off of them. And you know, and you know how stubborn she was. And you know how she would do anything that I told her to do, and she would do the opposite. So no, I haven't wanted to tell everybody, and nobody could even understand how it could get to this point unless they understood what has happened to Ty since she was 3 years old. So yes, I've been protecting Ty. I will continue to protect Ty. I don't want this to be made public. I didn't testify in court for that purpose. To protect her in 5 lifetimes. They could put me in here for 1 million lifetimes. Doesn't matter to me. So I just want to understand because this is what I've asked you before. You're telling me that all of this is to protect my sister's name because of what she did. Is that in my... Oh, yes, in my mind, yes. Y'all, I understand now these comments y'all were telling me about the looks on Colby's face. It's just incredible. This woman is... I thank God. I just thank God she can't walk the streets again. I just thank God for it. And she deserves the death penalty. I think it's hard because I know the prosecutors myself, says Colby. I've looked at a lot of the evidence. There was nothing left of my sister to even look at because somebody was so brutal with her. Somebody was so sick with her after she was taken. I can't hear you, Colby. It's cutting out. Yeah, right. She's such a liar. I said that I can't really hear anything you're saying. I said that it was... then Colby says, I've talked to the prosecutors. I've looked at a lot of what they're showing me. And Tylee was so brutally mistreated in her death that wasn't even human. It wasn't even human. I'll tell you something about what I know about the minute and because of my own experience of being outside of my body. All right? You could care less what happens to your body after you die. You could care less, and I know people on earth are really worried about it. I did not intend for that to be done. It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard in my life, so I don't want to go over that. And I don't know if he was saying that or her, but she did. She's given an excuse. She's like, basically she just said, Colby, even though Tylee was chopped up and burned and buried in a pet cemetery, I'm just telling you that, your body's really, it's not worth anything once the spirit leaves it. So that's really, it's okay, Colby, that it's okay. I want to think about that JJ was found. They were not, Colby, they were not, hold on a minute, I got to back that up. She's talking fast. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard in my life. That was repeated twice. So I don't want to go over that, really. Me either. JJ, I want to think about that. JJ was found. They were not in there. They were not in there, what I'm telling you, but I'm telling you, no matter what happens to you when you're at the coroner's office, they cut you open and do an autopsy. So there you go, y'all. That's her justification. She's saying, well, yes, Tylee was chopped up, but they do things at the coroner's office. Well, this woman is sick. This woman is sick. It's really gross. It's really gross. That's not what I'm talking about. But with JJ, you're in there. JJ was found fighting his bag that he was put in. So did Tylee held him down too long or put a bag over his head? That was the evidence, says Colby, that JJ was being suffocated by somebody. That was okay. So that is not the case. So when I found my little precious babies, I want to beat her ass. Her little precious babies when she found them. No, she helped in it. Her hair was in the duct tape. I don't give a shit if somebody wants to say, well, KJ, it could have been transferred. I'm telling you, the woman was there helping. There was no bag. There was no tape. There's nothing of that. They were just, come on, gone. Anything that was done was after the fact, long after the fact. They were not in there. Okay, and that brings me to a question here. with all of this being said, says Colby, what has it been like for you? Sorry, you're cutting out. I didn't realize you, because I cut out. Well, what's it been like for you since 2020? Now that you, how this has affected you at all? Has this affected you at all? Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I said I didn't hear that, only parts of it, since that's what you're going to say. How have you been affected since 2020? How's this affected you? He says to Lori, how have I've not been affected. It's my whole life. Like, I was never going to tell anybody anything about anything ever, okay? So you would have never told me. You would have never told me when I was at you. You never told you, the only person I wanted to tell you, and you're the only person I wanted to tell, and I wanted that to be private. Like, well, the only person that deserves to know. Can't be something private, Mom. That's not something you can just tell me that I would just be accepting and understanding of. You have to understand that I would never agree with you. I would never bury my siblings in some random dude's backyard and act like it never happened. I would never let that happen. I would have, even if that's what happened, which I'm going to be honest with you, I hope you can understand, because I wanted to be respectful enough to listen to what you said. I'm really tried to listen and study what you've said, and based off of everything that I've been shown, that they were both murdered, and that that's what you said didn't happen. So I think that we're not going to get anywhere. I think that's just, I just wanted to hear what you had to say, because you said you were there, and you said those are your children, those were my siblings, but I can't sit here and say that I agree with you at all. I don't, that's not what happened. It's just not what I think happened based off of, we all get to heaven. Hold on a minute, I gotta back it up, he's going fast. Let me get to it. Sorry, y'all. I've never done this before. I'll just start here. It can't be something private, Mom. That's not something you can just tell me that I would just be accepting and understanding of. You have to understand that I would never agree with you. I would never bury my siblings in some random dude's backyard like it never happened. I would never let that happen. I would have, even if that's what happened, which I'm going to be honest with you. I hope you can understand. I wanted to be respectful enough to listen to what you said. I've really tried to listen and study what you've said, and based off of everything that I've been shown, that they were both murdered, and that's what you said didn't happen. So I think that we're not going to get anywhere. I think that's just, I wanted to hear what you had to say, because you said you were there, and you said that those are your children. Those were my siblings. But I can't sit here and say that I agree with you at all. I don't think that's what happened. You know, it's just not what I think happened. Based off of when we all get to heaven, then she says, well, when we all get to heaven, you'll know, okay? That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anything different. And I can't tell anybody different, and I don't care what anybody thinks, really. Like, they weren't there. They don't know. Okay, so, well, that's what you meant then on that phone call, is what it is what it is. What it is told me on the phone call that I would know, and you said I don't know, and I definitely listened to that phone call again, because I was so hurt, because it sounded like you were just giving me a middle finger, and you said, F you. I wanted to tell you, the attorneys told me don't say anything on a jail call, nothing, don't ever say anything. They pound that into you, you know, from day one, like you're asking me, and I'm like, I can't tell you on this phone call, but I want to tell you the only person I wanted to tell, because I wanted you to be able to grieve. wanted you to be able to mourn. This woman is pathetic. She doesn't give a shit about Colby. She's blaming his sister, Tylee. This is causing him more pain. This is causing him more grief. And I wanted you to be able to tell the difference between what they're seeing actually happened and what you would know privately, what really happened. Let them say whatever they want. Who cares? It's gone way out of proportion, but I wanted you to have that for your own peace. That she wants him to have her lies, and that her lies are going to bring him peace. Give me a break. Move ahead a little bit. He says she's cutting out. So Colby says, I wish more than anything that I had my family. I prayed and was so grateful when my daughter was being born that she was going to have a family, aunts and uncles and grandparents on both sides, and people to love and support her. And then one day everybody was gone and everything was gone. I also turned to Christ, but I believe that Christ was preparing me for what was going to happen. And you and I do not see eye to eye at all when it comes to belief in Jesus. We don't. I don't believe, and I've really searched. I didn't just make a conclusion. I'm not someone that does that. I really take my time, and I took my time, and I read the New Testament, and I read Revelations, and nothing that I've seen in God or connected to God and people can say what they want to say. I always dig deeper. I know I'm not going to take someone's word for something. I'm going to go try to dig deeper and find things out, based it off of what I knew about it, and none of it ever added up. And he used to ask me on the phone if I had received information or for clarification or something of that nature. And I never did. And then all my dreams following that were dreams of me either delivering you from demons or me yelling at you at the top of my lungs. And you were not the same in my dreams, and you're not the same person. And I had to accept the fact that I lost my mom too. I had to accept that. But with that being said, with you being there, I need to tell you this. You did raise me. You took care of me, took care of my needs. You tried to protect me the best you could. And I'm grateful for what you did for me when I was a child. But I will tell you this. This situation does put us at odds. And I can't sit here and say that I agree with you. I don't. I can't even really understand where this side's coming from. I don't wish pain or anything on you. I have no malice towards you. But I do want anyone to know, and I won't, then I do 100% forgive you. I forgive you. And I'm not going to hold you in a jail cell of my heart, but you cannot be a part of my children's lives. And I think you need to understand why. Because you and I can't even be a part of each other's lives, because I don't feel like I know you anymore. And I don't want to hurt you by telling you that, but I don't want to lead you on. How is that forgiveness? How is that forgiveness is a choice of forgiving? It doesn't mean you keep going. It doesn't mean that if you and I are this different on our beliefs of what happened to my family, then how could we ever even communicate? I can't sit here and pretend like this isn't what it is. And I hate all of it. And I hate that you are still suffering in some way. But at the same time, I understand it. You and I do not have to agree. And I can't say, even listening to you, I don't feel that conviction in my heart. That's what happened. That is what's happened. But what you think happens, that's what you say happens. And you know what that I wasn't there, but I know what I feel, and I have my own spiritual intelligence, and I have my own ability to search and ponder. And I guess this leaves us to a place where all I can ever know is that I will find out one day in heaven. And that's all I could ever say about it, because you and I cannot agree on these things. I do not wish you harm on you. I saw you in that courtroom, and I wish I could have talked to my mom. I wish I had my mom there. I wish I had my brother and my sister to look at, all my kids. I wish my dad was here and being a part of it. I wish my family was here, and they're not. And you're gone. You're gone too, and that hurts. It hurts. But I want you to know I don't have a harmful bone of my body towards you. I'm mad and I'm upset. But this is something you and I cannot agree on, and I need to set that base now. We do not agree on that. I want to make sure that somehow, some way, you're not stuck in this place forever, because I don't know what you think people have said that you have a delusional disorder or of hyper. And when I just heard that, I thought, is he talking about prison? No, he was going on to say she's stuck in this mental health issue or whatever. I think ultimately she's stuck with a demon in her. That's what I think. This delusional disorder or of hyper-religiosity. And you know what? Because if you tell anybody you had a visit from Jesus, that's what they say. That's what the psychological world says, that it's crazy. I never was when I was at the hospital. I met lots of people who were, and I wouldn't call them crazy. This is Lori talking. But that have mental disorders, and I do not, okay? She's telling him she don't have any mental disorders. Same thing about all the prophets who said they saw Jesus. They said, well, and they're mad like, well, came to you. Why doesn't he come to me? Why doesn't he come and tell me this stuff right? It's the Sadducees and the Pharisees. It's all of that. So, okay, what am I upset about? Hearing your statement is that it's the first time I realized, and I'm sorry for you, honey, because I love you so, so much, but it's the first time I realized that when Jesus asked me to be like, to do this job, that you're also having to be like him. Oh my God. What job is it? What job does Jesus want Lori to do? Murder people? Be a serial killer? Oh my God. You're also having to be like him because I know you lost everything and all at once, but you have your wife and you have your beautiful children, and if he had, I would never let any children around that damn hooker. I would not let, even through a piece of plate glass. She is demon possessed. I would keep my children away. I would not have them in the same room. Oh my Lord. You have your beautiful children. You have your life still. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that you have a support system with Kelsey and her family. I'm grateful that you have that. I'm grateful that the kids have that. And this is my mission. And my mission will be revealed to everybody at some point, and including you at that time. I just want you to know I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm just going to say I love you. I want you to know that I did conduct this obviously like an interview. And I want you to know that I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this. But I want you to know that my plan was us to have this conversation and give you this piece, this for the public at some point. And that's what I want you to know. But that is the plan, for you to have said what you've never gotten to say publicly. I wanted you to know how much I love you, and whether you reciprocate that or not. I mean, I know you love me, but whether you want to have a relationship with me or not, you know that's up to you. That's 100%. So I respect all your wishes. I know you're a grown man now, and you can make your own decisions. But I would ask you to pray about it. I would ask you to help Jesus tell you the suffering that has been for me in the past 5 years. Oh, y'all, Lori's been suffering for 5 years. Well, she can kiss my country ass. I hope she suffers for the rest of her damn life. So that you'll know that there's nothing that I could have done different. Oh, yes, there's plenty of things she could have done different. She could have left them children in Arizona. She could have damn went and sought mental health help. Or she could have damn done anything other than what she had done. She has ruined people's lives, destroyed lives. I didn't anything different with a different result. To lose everyone, I had to do it to complete my mission. There's a totally different attitude in heaven than there is here, because they realize this is just a short time and it's temporary. Oh yeah, that's what she wants to believe, because she's going to grow old. I hope she lives to be 100 years old, sitting over there in Pocatello Women's Prison. I hope that she has a very, very long life. Because in her mind, y'all, she wants to absolutely think that she's going to somehow give up the ghost of her own spirit in jail and go on to the next probation. Well, I wonder if old Chatty Boy's going to be there. Why ain't they filing for divorce? Because they're both freaking idiots, freak shows. That's what they are. It's temporary. The things that we do, she says temporary. These things that we do on earth are temporary. Well, I'll tell you what. It is a permanent thing that Tylee, JJ, Tammy, Charles, Joseph Ryan permanently have been taken off this planet. And these people are not ever going to see them in this life again. And it's all that damn hooker's fault. There are eternal. There are things that are eternal importance, but your relationship with me is eternal. So that's the only reason I would ask you to even pray about that, Colby. All I ever wanted for you was to have peace about it. How can Colby have peace from her? He can't get peace from her. The only one he can get peace from is Jesus, and I believe that Colby understands that. I know you lost everybody. I'm sorry that you did. It was not my choice, and it was not what I wanted for you at all. It was not her choice. She was the mother of those children, and she damn well had that choice. She could have protected those children, but she didn't. She didn't protect them. It's not what I wanted for you at all. I wanted the same thing for the kids. I wanted everybody to be happy, but that's not what this life is about, apparently. It's certainly not what Job's life was about. But in the end, what do they give Job? They give him everything back and more. So we'll see how Jesus wants to handle that. For this woman to even consider herself, well, you know, all she's done is compare herself with people, specifically in the Book of Mormon. Now she wants to drag Job, which is in Holy Scripture, the Holy Bible, the real Word, And she wants to compare her life to that. And maybe I'll have to sit down and do a little more analysis on that and come up with a good amount of content on why that damn hooker ain't nothing like Job in the Bible. How about this? Let me just say it like this. Job was absolutely suffered, tempted, whatever. He was plagued. God allowed Satan to do this. But guess what? Job never did anything wrong. He suffered in it. He suffered to the point where he was throwing ashes on himself. He was suffering bad, but he never gave in. This damn whore gave in to every sin that you could think of. Adultery, murder, bearing false witness. I could go down the whole 10 Commandments. That's a fact. That's not me judging. You see somebody stealing a candy bar, which is not the same thing, but I'm just trying to prove a point. To call them a thief when you see it, that's not judging them. That's calling it like it is. When that is going to be, but he did come to me on February 2nd in this jail. Jesus did, y'all. This year, and he said many things to me, and he told me to write them down. And when I wrote them down, one of the things he told me, I think the phone calls were spotty. Okay, he's back. Are really spotty. She was trying to see if she was going to call back, but I feel like we just needed to end it. My raw reaction right now, this is Colby speaking, y'all, is I just spoke to my mother for the first time in 4 years, and I feel like, what does he feel like? Hold on. Another ad, y'all. I feel like that was the hardest I've ever fought, to not respond. I believe that. I made a decision in the beginning before I interviewed her that I would not try to do a rebut of her. And the reason being because there's no point. It would have just been a defense mechanism thrown up there that would have been no conversation. It would have been chaos. And it wouldn't have been a conversation. I can't tell you how shocking that is. I don't think I'll ever have an interview with someone that was harder than that. Tell you that right now. I would have rebutted everything that she said. I'm still shaky and emotional. I'm just going to give this to you guys really raw, because this is what we need in life, is more of real stuff, not just edited and cut. That was really hard, a hard conversation. She's so convicted of her truth, convinced of her truth and her reality. She truly believes what she says. She begged to be in my life. So hard, bro, because she's, that's your mom. You just want to trust someone. You want to love them. Can't do it. I can't explain it to her that way. I wish I could. Of course I want my mom to be part of my life. Of course I miss my family. Folks, I'm going to stop it right there, because the bottom line is this. He is going to continue to talk to her, and he's going to be sharing it online, and that's his own business. But she, in her forked tongue and her demon possession, in my opinion, she's gonna suck him right in. And she's going to make it look like that this is what Jesus wants. Now, trust me, Jesus does want Colby to forgive her. But I'm telling you now, she is in this state, spiritually, in my opinion, evilness inside of her. She has an agenda, and it's not that she loves Colby. Because if she could love Colby and truly love him with real love, she would have also loved Tylee and JJ, and they would not be dead. I mean, the question has to be asked, why didn't Lori murder Colby? I mean, I know he was off in his own life and everything like that, but it could have very well happened. She's big mad at Mel, says Just Me. Let me get back down here, y'all. All I know is this: we haven't heard the end of the Hussy. She's going to continue to craft her story. She'll add to it or take away from it. She will continue to try to suck her son back into her world for the main objective of getting him to get her stuff in prison, because she's got to have connections. I'm sure Summer and her mom will absolutely be helping her with her yeast infection medicine and her Twinkies or whatever. But she wants, and see, this also lets me know that if she even wants to embrace these false memories, whether it's through mental illness or whether she's just lying through her teeth and she's demon possessed, well, however you want to look at it, she can't move forward with her false memories, knowing that Colby and others, especially Colby, believes the way he does. She's got to get him to go along with it in order for her to continue, because that's always going to be there, tapping her on the shoulder every time she wants to embrace this BS about Tylee killing JJ and then killing herself. That's really what it comes down to. It's throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks. So I really, Dinah Hannah says she'll live in her delusional life the rest of her life because she will never face what she's done to her own children. Exactly. Shemal says he's been so broken, want to support him. Sugar Magnolia says blaming Tylee is the lowest low she could ever do. Virginia Lopez says Colby should not go further with her. He needs to stop doing this. It will hurt him more. She may never change. She won't change on her evil ways. She won't. Kathy Mama Bear says, in my opinion, if she ever wakes up and sees what she really did, that would be the end of her. That's what I think. I think it would be a total and complete mental breakdown to maybe perhaps even comatose state or whatever. She has to have these false memories, or she has to have, if that's what you want to believe, mental illness, or this demon has got complete and total control of her. Which I want to end on this, y'all. I want to end on this. According to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, demons could be seen and heard as well as banished. You got Mark 8:16 says, just when there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit cried out, saying, what have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God. But Jesus rebuked him, saying, be silent and come out of him. And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying with a loud voice, came out of him. They were all amazed, and they kept on asking one another, what is this? A new teaching with authority? He commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him. And y'all, I could go verse after verse after verse. Demon possession is real. I believe Lori is demon possessed. I believe Chad Daybell is demon possessed. I believe these people in this cult are possessed. They wanted to open themselves up to this bullshit, pendulum swinging, no different than a freaking Ouija board crap. any of that stuff. Open up those freaking portals of Satan coming in and freaking abiding with his demons, y'all. That's my opinion. So, yes, she's going to be on some more of Colby's Star Wars podcast. I guarantee you that, but I won't be covering it. I'm just letting y'all know the reason I did this is because I felt like there was some justice through understanding in all of this. And I very well am going to be able to look at each and every one of y'all and say that I did not hear this woman's voice. I have not heard the audio of this woman's voice. She doesn't deserve for me to hear. She just doesn't deserve at all for me to even hear her. I spoke her words, and I'll tell you why. Because her words are nothing more than venom and a forked tongue. Lashing out, wanting to take her tentacles into her son. But you know what the good news is? From what I understand and what I've heard of Colby Ryan, he's got a firm grip on Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ. She can say Jesus all she wants. That is a demon's most wonderful thing to do, is to convince someone that, oh, Jesus is speaking to you. Jesus is talking to you. But it's really comes down to this. If that's true, if Jesus can abide with you, and I believe he can, through the Holy Spirit, then anything that Jesus would do would be perfect. Would all good and perfect things come from above? There's nothing good and there's nothing perfect about murder at all. So she's being lied to. I'll say this. I'll just say this in closing. I do not hate Lori Hussy Daybell. I hate the evil that's inside of her. And I will say this. I will say if it is God's will to relieve her of this demon possession, if that's, in fact, I believe it, but maybe y'all don't, that maybe she will come to terms. But even if she doesn't, you do the crime, you do the time. You can be forgiven for anything. God will forgive. Jesus Christ will forgive anything at all except for one thing, and that's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. I believe her and Chad did that, but even if you put that aside, God can forgive that, but it does not alleviate a person's consequences of their actions here on this earth. And she's going to be spending the rest of her freaking days in Pocatello Women's Prison. And she's going down. Her ass is going to the wall with Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreaux. It's pure and simple. That's the way it is. I will continue to pray for Colby Ryan. I pray every day for the Woodcocks, for Krisha K. Easton of Difficult Research, Jason, their whole family. I absolutely pray that they find peace and know that not a word that comes out of that hooker's mouth matters. The only reason I even talked about it today was because the Rays wanted it. I thought about it. I said, can I get any justice through understanding and all this? And I have. I absolutely have. I miss my mother's voice. And there are some on here whose mothers have passed on that you wished you could hear her voice. I will not hear this woman. She doesn't deserve to be called a mother. And, you know, Colby says, my mom. He even says, Mom, you know this, or Mom. That is his mother. And that's the sad reality. That's what he's dealing with. So leave your comments, and y'all, I'm going to get with y'all about other content here real soon, specifically about Bullhorn Betty. I haven't had a chance to really update that, but I'm going to be, I have a few things I want to say about Bullhorn Betty, because I love my state of Tennessee, and Bullhorn Betty can kiss my country ass. Also, we're going to talk about this October 17th thing coming up with Sarah Boone and anything else. Y'all know Mondays we don't talk cases at all. We just talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll get back on track. I thank y'all so much for being patient with me as I went to the lake this week. I don't know how this went across with reading the closed captions to y'all, but it can't be no different than Justin Lum and Nate Eaton's tweets. This was my reaction. Did we expect her to ever tell the truth about anything? She's a damn liar. She deserves to be where she's at. And my heart goes out to Colby Ryan. He's going to continue. It's just like my mother said, you mess with shit, you get it all over you. Hopefully that won't happen to Colby Ryan. Maybe he will be able to help in some way, not just her, but others that are listening in. My hope is that God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And forgiveness is important. And I'm thankful because, y'all, I had to forgive the guy who murdered my brother. So does that mean that I want to be pen pals with him or get a jail phone call and have him explain what happened? When he shot my brother between the eyes and murdered him and rolled him up in plastic and put him in the trunk of a Saturn model car. Do I want to do that? Hell no, I don't. It was enough for me to send a letter and tell him that I forgave him and told him about my brother, just so he would know who it was that he murdered. He's spending 25 years to life, and I don't care when he comes up for parole or nothing. I leave it in God's hands. Colby Ryan's got to do what Colby Ryan is doing, and more power to him. My prayers are with him. I love you all. I hope you have a great weekend. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. So have a great weekend, everyone. I love you. You know I do. Thank you for putting up with me. And keep on looking.